not even mean Bowers game for me.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out The Game of Life, Twists and Turns from Milton Bradley. This is for ages 9+, 2 to 4 players, and it'll take you, I don't know, about 30 minutes to play. It really depends. You can play as many rounds or turns as you would like to. And in The Game of Life, Twists and Turns, they have taken the original Game of Life, which if you have revisited lately does not hold up as well as you might like it to, and they have flipped it on its head. You now actually have some interesting choices to make. Do you want to start a career? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to start a family? Do you want to go on an adventure? The game is going to allow you to do it. But without a doubt, the coolest aspect of this game is this. The Life Hub right here, which kind of looks like a smoke detector. This is where you're going to be keeping track of your money, of your life points, of how happy you are, of your job, of your career. And you're going to have it all on this credit card. It's a very interesting take on life. Does it make the game better? Does it make the game worse? Is the game worth playing? Let's open it up, and I'll show you what I think. Also, if you have not seen how this works, I would recommend watching at least part of the middle part, because this contraption is actually really stinking cool. But is the game. Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at The Game of Life, Twist and Turn. So first and foremost, we have a handy dandy rule booklet, and you're like, oh my gosh, wow, it's really long. It's pretty much like 4 pages, 8 pages, really kind of double-sided, full color, full of lots of text. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of text and buttons you should press. And if you go through it thoroughly, it's actually a really well done rule booklet that will help you out when you're first learning the game. There is also this quick rules card, which is incredibly beneficial for when you're restarting the game and relearning the game and reteaching the game each and every time. And I'm actually going to use this. You're going to have to bear with me as I teach you how to play the game, because I really want to show you a couple turns so you can see how the game works and how this thing works, because this is really different and unique, especially for a mass market game. You also get this money guide, which is weird. Practical skills on how you should spend your money. Okay. Whatever, let's get to the game. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a credit card. It goes up to 4 players, there's 4 credit cards, and yeah, they're actually thick credit card type material. It's going to have a little dash here. The only thing is, if you're playing 2 players, one person has to be 1, one person has to be 2, or else it completely screws everything up. So we're going to be showing you a 2-player game right here. Each player is also going to get this scoreboard right here. Thick plastic, and on the back it's going to have some game tips here and some real life tips, which once again, kind of odd. But you're also going to have a Life Pod reference card. Now, this is your Life Pod right here, and it's going to help you when it comes to doing all sorts of things. Buying a car, selling a car, buying a house, selling a house, getting married, entering promotions, because all the stuff that you do in this game, you're going to be entering into this pod right here. If you get married and you have a kid, you're going to enter it in here. If you get a raise at work, if you get promoted, you're going to enter it in here. If you get debt, you're going to enter it in here, and it keeps track of everything for you, which is really kind of fascinating. Next, at the beginning of the game, everyone is going to choose a career, and the careers will look like this. Music, military, retail, fashion, small business. There's a whole bunch. They're double-sided. Some of them will require degrees. For instance, if you want to be a writer or in media, then you're going to have to do that. Some will also have a chance, which means you just have to get lucky. It's like a 50-50 shot. You'll hit it. So let's go ahead and we will be... What would I like to do? I will be in broadcasting. I would love to be in broadcasting. So everyone is also going to start as a $5,000 salary, no matter what the job is. So what I do is I clip this right now onto my board, and I'm going to clip it with one of these little clips right here. These clips are going to be used for a couple different things. They're going to keep track of your income, and they're also going to keep track of whether or not you're married, if you have babies, a degree, PhD, all sorts of stuff like that. So we'll clip it on right here. And now I know that I'm a TV production assistant. So now let's actually start up the game, and I'm going to show you exactly how it does. So we'll turn the thing on, and I'll hopefully get it at the right angle, and it's going to light up with years. And this is how many turns you want to play. So I'm going to play 10 turns, which is what they recommend. What did I do wrong? Oh, I hit that, and then I hit 1, 0, and you'll see right down to the bottom it's 1, 0, and then you hit enter. And now the game is ready to rock and roll. So when it's your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to stick your credit card into this little hole right here. And stick it in there. And now it's my first turn. I'm player number 1. And I start the game off with nothing. So I'm ready to rock and roll. So your car is not actually a car, it's a skateboard this time. And I do want to mention it because I probably won't get to it, but you'll eventually be able to upgrade it even to a reasonable car like this, which you can clip on, or you'll be able to get it onto a sports car, and it does. It actually clips on there, which is a really stinking cool design. But you start with the skateboard. And if you get the cars, they will allow you to go faster and go to spaces that you might want to get to. So what you're going to do on your turn is you insert it into there. It's going to update your stuff, and then you are going to hit spin right here. So spin it up and see how many space. Oh, so I got $5,000 to start off because that's my salary, because that's what it says on my card. And I go 1 space. Now, I forgot to mention this, but you're going to pick where you start. You're either going to start on Love It, which means you're going to be starting a family and having kids. Live It, which means you're going to be going on adventures and paying money, but you're also going to have memories. You can start over here. Learn It, which is pretty much going to college. You'll be able to, you have to pay tuition, but then you'll earn your degrees, and you can get a PhD. Or you can earn it, which means you're going to be working, and you can start getting promotions and moving your way up the social or the work ladder, which is actually really kind of cool. So you know what? I will go ahead and I will start. You know what? I'm going to start earning it. So I move 1 space, which sounds like a bummer, and you're like, wow, most of these spaces are blank. That's not fun. Well, here's the thing. Even if you land on a start or a blank space, you're always going to draw a life card. So the life tiles are gone, replaced by the life cards. And long live the life cards, because I would draw the life card, and then you see what happens. So if I'm on green, that one happens. If I'm blue, that's going to happen, and they all correspond to realistic things. So let's pretend that I was in Love It, family and friends. Well, then you get a Valentine's from a secret admirer. I would earn plus 200 life. And there's 2 forms of currency in the game. There is cash and there is life. And it doesn't actually say in the rules how they decide a winner. It's just they factor in your life, how good your life was, and they factor in how much cash you have, and they balance it out, and then they choose a winner, which is really kind of interesting. So discover dinosaur bones in your backyard. Sell your discovery to the museum. That actually has nothing to do with earning it. But hey, I just gained $200,000. That's kind of crazy. So what do? I'm going to enter cash and plus 200,000. Make sure you can see that. And boom, if I wanted to make it minus, I could go minus, but I'm going to enter that. And that is fantastic. Why aren't you entering it? Oh, plus. There we go. Boom. So now it updates my total. I now have $205,000. And my turn's over. So I remove that. And let's go ahead and move blue. So let's pretend blue sticks it in there. Boom. Like that. Player number 2 is ready to rock and roll. Spin it up. Gives me $5,000. And let's just spin it up and see what happens. So blue gets to go 5. And let's pretend that, blue was right here. I don't know. They're going purple. So they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, so a house. They would actually get to do a house. So how you do the house action? Well, really simple. You look right here and you look for house. So if you buy a house, you hit the number 5. Boom. And then you would plus to select dip. And wow, I got a $200,000 house. That is expensive. So now, unfortunately, I am in debt. But here's the thing. It's going to give me life points because I'm happy. I have a house. I have my own place to rest my head. So pull this out, and then we go to the next player. And it shows that I'm player number 1. And it shows that I have $205,000. I'm banking, so let's go ahead and spin it up. And that's my salary, because I earn $5,000 a year. And I got a 4. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to cheat a little bit because I do want to show you a lottery, but at the same time I want to show you how the promotion works. So we're going to cheat. I'm going to go 1, 2. We're going to pretend that I went 5. So I'm actually going to get a promotion. And how the pink spaces work are, if you pass over a pink space, you do that thing at the end of your turn. If you pass over a red space, you have to stop, and you actually have to handle it. So right now, I would get +1 promotion. So let's take a look at our handy-dandy little card, and we will find out that I have gotten myself a promotion. So I go to salary, which is the 0 button, and I enter my new salary. So let's take a look. I now have gone from a TV production assistant to a photojournalist, and my salary is now $20,000. So I would enter, boom, baby, and then I'd hit enter. And now, at the beginning of every turn, it's going to give my salary, which is $20,000 as opposed to just $5,000. Take it out, and it's a blue guy's turn. So let's see what blue's going to do. So blue factors in. Player number 2. They're in a lot of debt, and they haven't started getting any good stuff for the life points yet, which is a little bit of a bummer. Oh, but that's actually... Oh, that's a bummer. I got more money. I don't know why I had to pay more money. But I did get 100 life points, 100 happiness points because I have a house. I move 8 spaces. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm getting married, baby! Yeah! So I have to stop right there. Let's go ahead and show you how getting married works. Boom. We go right here. Get married. We hit the number 3. We hit enter. Yeah, I know. It's really kind of cool. So that makes me very happy for my life. And also, the other players give you some money too, which I think is kind of a fun little thing there as well. So I'm married. Take it out. Get back to player 1. We'll do one more turn. One more turn. So shove it on in there. So player 1, I've got a lot of fat cash, plus my new salary should be factored in there in a second. Boom! Get paid! Spin it up. And I'm going 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, and I landed on the car. So what does the car do? Well, I'm going to buy a car. So I'm going to go car 6. And then I get to select my type. I can buy a sedan or I can buy a sports car. Sports car is going to let me go slightly faster though. So definitely going to buy a sports car, even though it's going to cost $50,000. But you know what? I discovered those dinosaur bones. I'm going to treat myself. I just got a promotion at work. Discovered the dinosaur bones. Treating myself. Boom! Sports car, baby! Which means now I'm going to be rolling higher numbers because I have a sports car. So, boom. Take it out, and we'll do blue's turn. So, blue, player number 2, spin it up, and I get paid. But, oh, debt. House for my debt, my house payment. But I am happy. Look at all those life points I have. I'm happy. I'm married. I got a house. I got so much debt. But I moved 10. So let's see. I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop! Try for a baby. So let's try for a baby. So this is really kind of cool. There's some spots up here that say it's a girl or it's boy or it's twins, but this one is trying for a baby, which means it's a little bit of a random roll here. So, well, actually, I think try for the baby is specifically on this one. So reach try for a baby and stop. So we press 2 for chance because we're trying for a baby. We're not guaranteed. And it's either going to be 0, no baby, 1 baby, or 2 for twins. Oh, man, no baby. I'm sorry, babe. Wow, this is, I'm sorry you had to see this, YouTube. This is really, we've been trying really hard. And it's really been putting a heavy rift on our relationship. We're going to the doctor next week to see if it's me or if it's her, and we're going to be talking about alternatives. Do we need to be syncing up cycles? Do I need to be eating healthier? Okay, we're taking this too far. But anywho, try it for a baby. But let's talk about some of the other spots on the board. The game will automatically end after the predetermined number of turns, but there's business ventures, which is kind of where you risk. It's kind of like stocks almost, where it's like you risk money and you have a 50-50 shot of winning. There's the lottery, which is really kind of cool, where someone's going to win the lottery, and the person that lands there is going to get 3 out of 10 numbers, and the other people that are playing are going to get 1 number. So anybody could win it, but the person that lands there is going to have a better shot. You can buy houses, as you saw. You could go on adventures, all sorts of different cards. You can get promoted. You can switch jobs. You can get your PhD. The game allows you to do lots of really cool stuff. But anywho, at the end of the game, this will tell you who has won the game, and that person will be the winner of Life, Twists, and Turns. Alrighty then, the game of life, twists, and turns from Milton Bradley. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, big con I have in this game, 2 to 4 players, restricted player count. The original Life goes up to 6 players, even though, oh my god, you would never want to play it at 6 players because it would just take forever, potentially, especially if you're in last place. But this is only 2 to 4 players, which is a little bit of a bummer. Also, a minor con that mostly is just going to annoy kids is you can't actually pick your color. There's 4 colors. But if you're only playing 2 players, you're only going to use the red, and I think it's the blue, because the way the credit card system works is the first player has to have red, and the second player has to have blue, and the third player has to have green, and the fourth player has to have yellow. So there you go. Also, if you're nostalgic, and some of the kids mentioned this, I thought it was really odd. Some of the kids really didn't like the fact that they couldn't put the little babies in the back seat of their car and their husbands or wives in the front seat of their car with them. That the game takes that away. You still have your car, but now you don't get to put the kids in there. So the kids hated it, but whatever. Also on the con side, it still, in essence, is a roll and move game, even though this time it's a hit a button, spin the spinner, and move game. So most of the time, you know what you're going to be doing. It's very random still. It's still a pretty much 100% random game. And that's going to be a turn off for some people. Also, some people are going to be super annoyed by the fact that they don't know how to win the game. It says in the rule booklet even, the game, this thing will decide who wins the game, factoring in a top secret formula, factoring in how good your life is with how much money you have. And I will say that I feel like it definitely skews towards having a good life over having a lot of money, which brings into the deep philosophical conversation for another time. But with that being said, I feel like if you go towards the family track, because I've seen two people go towards the family track and go heavy on the family track, and they both absolutely demolished. The more kids you have, it is going to be expensive, but you just get so many life points for having kids. So it does feel slightly imbalanced, which is a little bit of a bummer. Likewise, I felt like going on an adventure and living life was slightly less. The life cards will generally give you more life points, but it still just felt like either starting a better career or going family was the way to go in the game if you actually care about winning the game. Any other cons that I have with the game? The rules are a little bit like, I have a feeling, since this is a mass market game, a lot of people got this game, they looked at this and they're like, nope, not doing it. Go get Candyland, Billy, or Battleship. We're playing that. We're not learning this. We'll take it back to Target or give it to somebody on their birthday or something. And I bet that happened with a lot of people, which is really unfortunate. Because moving on to the pros, this is a great mass market family game. And I want to make sure I use my words very clearly here. If you were looking at this as a gamer game, no, absolutely not. There's no strategy. It's completely random, 100% random. Nothing you do is really going to make you do better or worse. It's also in balance. So if you're looking at this as a gamer game, no. But I'm speaking now to the family market. I'm speaking to you who normally doesn't play, hobby games. You're like, should I get this or should I get light? And oh my gosh, unless you have 5 or 6 people in your family and you only play with 5 or 6 people, get this game. This is what mass market games should be like. It is fun. It is. I played it 5 times now in my classroom, and I've had fun all 5 times. So what do I like about the game? First and foremost, this is ingenious. This is fantastic. Because if you go back and revisit life, it's so fiddly and there's so many pieces and the paper money's god-awful and there's the car insurance and there's home insurance and it's all just crinkly and all over the place. And when you have to deal out money, it's just annoying because you always go over the paydays and it's like, oh, you need $30,000. It's like, oh, I want to pay the $25,000 back. It's just, stupid paper money everywhere. It's a clean, clear system. And this keeps track of everything. Everything. That is awesome. It keeps track of your kids, it keeps track of your life, it keeps track of your money, it keeps track of your salary, it keeps track of everything in the game for the most part, except for where you are and if you have PhDs and stuff like that. But it's really awesome how the system works, and it's really neat. Someone took this game, and this feels like a labor of love, which is odd. I don't think I've ever said that about a mass market Milton Bradley Hasbro type game, but this game really feels like someone put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this game, and this game was somebody's baby. The life cards are fun too. I love how they do the life cards, because like before, the life cards would just be, oh, look at this, I just randomly won President of the United States and won the Nobel Peace Prize and discovered a new flavor of Jell-O or something. But these ones, they actually make sense. It's like, oh, let's see. I'm on the heart track, so look at that. You help do some much-needed renovations to your neighbor's house, pick another player. That player gets 200 life. That's actually bad for you. But it makes sense. Let's see. Renovate your handicapped neighbor's house so it's easier for him to get around. What are the odds of those two being back-to-back? You start a carpool for community work. You save gas and save the environment. 200 life and $1,000. It makes sense, and I like that. If you go on adventures, you're going to be doing cool stuff. And the kids really enjoy looking at the life tiles. The kids love doing this, and I do too. I mean, this is a great family game. I'm going to say it. It's roll and move, spin and move. It's in balance. I'm giving this an 8. I don't care. It's a great game. It's a great family game. It's going onto my shelf at home to play with my son. My son loves this game. The kids in my class love this game. My wife enjoys playing this game. And this is the Life you need to get. Because let me tell you, the original Life, and I actually played these two back to back, one day after the other. This blows that version of Life out of the water. I wish they would have made it up to 6 players. That would have made the game much better. But I love the fact that you can play this for a while. And that's another thing that I do want to mention. I honestly feel like the game's a little bit better if you extend it to, say, 14 or 15 turns as opposed to 10, because the turns go by pretty quickly with how you do this. But I like how there's the lottery. I like how there's, trying for a baby and getting married, and there's... Yes. Yes. I hope this is still in print. I hope Milton Bradley didn't give up on this game because parents bought it and were just scared by this rules. But if you find it, and if you can, and if you have a family, the Game of Life Twists and Turns is great. It is a great family weight game that I wholeheartedly recommend. And honestly, there's another thing that I want to mention. This, I really don't feel like you need this. I feel like the quick start can get you up and running. And, man, I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe that I'm like, you should buy this Game of Life from Milton Bradley. But I am. It is. It's great. Go get it if you are interested in the game at all. If you play family games like Monopoly or Battleship or stuff like that, your kid's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, in that range, and even 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, heck, I enjoyed the game. This is one you want to check out. This is the Game of Life Twists and Turns. Not a game night game, not a hobby game, but for a family game, and especially for a mass market game, they knocked it out of the park with this one. If you enjoyed this review, please click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know what's the last thing that caught you off guard. They're like, whoa, what was that? For me personally, actually, it was a couple days ago at work. A woman that I've worked with for 5 years. We've never spoken to each other. Ever. Not even a word. Because she works at one end of the building, I work at the other end of the building. Just started up a conversation with me. I was like, oh, okay. This is different. So that completely caught me off guard. Let me know in the comments below. What's the last thing that caught you off guard? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. I'll talk about it. Carry on.